today we are in search of giant pike, and it's mid-March. They're starting to heat up really good, and I was here right at dark. I'm in a pretty public spot right now, unfortunately, but ice is getting a little sketchy this year. We've had some really warm temperatures, and like driving on in some places is a definite no, so access is restricted right now, but I'm on a spot. I did drive on this morning, and I've got both my baits set. You can see right back here. I've got one Jawjacker there, and I've got one to my north here, but they're both set up. I've got one small bait, one big bait. We'll see what's working better, and we'll switch it out to that. But today I'm going to give you a few tips on how to run a Jawjacker for pike, and it actually works, and you know, what baits to use, but really what to look for in finding these big pikes. Like where on Diefenbaker can you find big pike this time of year, because it can be tough. And it's not finding the pike that's tough, it's the access that's tough. Getting on the ice safely and getting to them is the hardest part. So stay with us, see what happens today, but I'm sure we'll catch a few big fish for you. There's a fish. All right. That was a little messy, getting stuck in the jacker there. All right, we'll see what we got here. Doesn't feel super heavy, but normally when they're pulling in the Jawjacker like that and they're not flipping the Jawjacker, it's usually a pretty good fish. This was my bigger bait too. This was the herring. I've got some good bubbles coming up here, and I'm feeling a bit more weight now. So I'm using the Rapala here, medium heavy action rod. And I'm actually running 50-pound braid on this, and it's getting a little hung up on the ice here. This could be a decent one. It is too. This is a good fish. Check this out. Look at that, to start the morning, right there. Get these hooks out of them quick. Awesome. Well, look at that. First fish of the day. He's probably gonna go 39 inches. Right. So first fish of the morning. I've been here about 5 minutes. Just watched that Jawjacker go off, got to it, and it was looking like a good fish. The big ones, they don't smash around and steal your rod down the hole, just like the small ones do. So I am just quickly going to get this bumper board set up. Get it a little wet. It's nice and warm out this morning, so don't have to worry about keeping the fish out too long. Okay, get a quick measurement here. This fish is 42 inches long. 42 inches. I'm not going to weigh it. I'm just going to get it straight back in the water. That is awesome. I've been here about 5 minutes. What a great start to the morning. This big fat female, 42 inch long, and she's ready to go already. Look at her kicking away there. There she goes. 42 incher to start the morning, and literally I've been here about 5 minutes. So if that's any bearing on what the day is going to be, today's going to be a really good day. I'm going to get this bait set back up, and we're going to get another. Well, I'm pretty pumped up about that fish. That was a nice 42 incher. It was super healthy, nice fat female, and man, I've been fishing for like 5 minutes. That never happens. You got to put your time in for these big fish normally, and to get here that fast and get a good fish like that is unbelievable. Pretty happy. That one hit on my bigger bait, so now I'm debating switching the second one out, but we'll leave it a little longer. It's pretty big too, but it's not as big as that bait was. But man, that was a great fish. So far, it's been a great morning. Everything's just going right so far, but we're gonna get at it some more here and see what happens. We'll hopefully get a few more of those big girls today. That was a lot of fun. Just hooked up with another one. Should be pretty good. It's a really big bait on this one. covered in mud. Alright, so it wasn't much of a fight. She stuck herself right into the mud right away, but she's not huge. She'll probably be mid-30s to high 30s, but yeah, I'll get the tape on her quick, get a real measurement here. Okay, let's see what we got. She is 37. So not a giant, but gonna get her back. There she goes. Come on, get down there. Go. There we go. She's stuck in the hole. Good, she's gone. Covered in mud. Alright. So for these Jawjackers, I'm using a medium heavy. This is a 28-inch rod. It fits in the Jawjackers well. The medium heavy gives the Jawjacker the ability to set the hook on these pike without ripping it away from them. If you use a straight heavy rod in here, it pulls it right out of their face, and you don't get any hookups. You get a lot of false strikes on it. So the medium heavy really helps you set the hook with the Jawjacker. And I use the Jawjackers just because I like fighting the fish on a rod. Tip up's not really my thing. Okay, so I'm setting the bait to the bottom, and then make sure your ends are extended on the Jawjacker. Get the right length on the adjustment bar here. Set the trigger, and I set it all the way down to the heaviest setting. These pike will still trigger it off no matter what the setting is. You don't want it super light because you will get a few false strikes with it. Just set it to the heaviest setting. That way, when they actually eat the bait, then it'll set the hook on them. So I'm gonna bring it up just a bit from bottom. You wanna be anywhere from, just above the bottom to mid-water column with these. So I'm gonna set it and see what happens here. Just hooked up with another one here. Feels a bit lighter. I almost pulled the rod out of the hole, so I didn't get the camera set up in time. Just reset the track. This is on the smaller pike. Hasn't been hit once yet today until now. A couple good runs out of this fish though. Could have some weight. It's a bit heavier rod than the other one. Some pretty big colors coming up too. There we go, he's getting squared up. Doesn't like the looks of the dam. Not another giant, but 36, still a really fat, healthy fish. You can get back quick and we're gonna get a bigger one. Get back. There we go. Alright. Rigged up and get another. like a huge fish. Take a couple good runs now. Coming up pretty fast this one. Not big though. But it's not. There, landed itself. It is always the small fish that flip the Jawjacker and take it into the hole. Always the little ones, not the big ones. So when you're fishing and you have your Jawjacker flip upside down like that, it's probably a small fish. Get him going right away. There we go. Not a big one, but hey, still fun. Alright, so where should you try for these big pike on Diefenbaker? Well, if you look behind me here, there's all sorts of coulees and hills. The whole lake is pretty well covered in that. Most of the lake is surrounded by coulees like that, and there's lots of bays, lots of big coulees, inlets. We'll look for one that has a flow of water. And the flow of water doesn't have to be a creek mouth. I mean, a creek mouth will definitely produce big fish for you, but any sort of inlet coulee that has a flow of water. And the flow of water could be from runoff. These fish get triggered to spawn by the runoff and the changes in the weather. And one thing to consider is that the north side is going to heat up faster than the south side. You've got the sun mostly to the south here, and it sets in the west, obviously, but it's really below us here when we're fishing all day long. The sun's to the south of the lake, so these north side hills heat up faster and they produce a lot of runoff, and they flow into the lake on the north side before the south side does. So try out some of the north side coulees. That's one of the best pieces of advice I can give you. You're going to find fish in them. It's just a matter of putting your time in, and that's the worst thing. If you go fish a new spot, try it with multiple people, because you're going to have more opportunity with more lines in the water. When you go try a new spot with with one person and 2 lines, you're really restricting yourself. And you know, you want to fish for other species as well, because you're trying a new spot. You know, maybe there's some walleye, maybe there's some trout in there, and you're running 2 pike rigs. Well, it's nice to have maybe 2 or 3 people with you that you can run 4 pike rigs and, you know, and 2 trout rigs or walleye rigs. But I know this bay holds pike here, so I've got 2 pike rigs out today. But when I do go experiment some of the new spots, I do generally run 1 pike setup and 1 for rainbows and walleyes, kind of a multi-species rig. And yeah, try that out. Look for those big coulees, big inlets, big bays. If you can find something that has weed beds in it too in the summer, you're cruising around in your boat, mark those weed beds. Come back to them in the spring, because the pike really like the weeds to spawn in. You know, most of their eggs stick to the weeds when they spawn, and they're going to look for these bays, and they're going to come back every year after year. The same ones are going to come to the same bays. It's just the way it works. But you'll find a lot of big fish searching around like that, but the access is tough. That's the thing. You're going to need to walk on, put the time in and the effort to get to a lot of the good spots, or you're going to have a quad set up. But at the end of the season, the ice gets really bad on Diefenbaker, so you really got to be safe. Don't do anything stupid. Don't go driving a 3/4 ton truck out on the ice on Diefenbaker in March, because you're going to run into trouble. All right, so talking about water depths, what water depths am I going to look for these big pike? Well, really anything from 2 feet of water to about 16 feet of water, you're going to find these fish in. And watercolor isn't going to make a difference. The water could be turbid and brown, or it could be crystal clear. There's still going to be pike in there, as long as you're in the right spot. But depth-wise, don't worry about if it's really shallow. If you're 2 feet of water, that's fine. There's going to be pike cruising under the ice. And when you're setting your baits, you know, you're not going to be right under the ice, and you're not going to be right on bottom. You will get the odd fish that'll pick it up straight off bottom, but you know, you tend to want to be low to the mid water column for these fish. They're pretty big too. You got to remember, when they're cruising on the bottom, they're taking up a little bit of the water column. They're big fat fish. So, and these fish are some of the biggest pike I've seen in the world anywhere that I have fished. These pike here are super fat and healthy, for their size, like you can catch a 39 here that's over 20 pounds, and that's a good fish. Like that's super healthy fat fish. These fish out here are just all really girthy, really healthy, and they put up a great fight. It's such a great fishery for these big pike. I mean, you can't compare it. Like I fished Northwest Territories, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, Alberta, Saskatchewan. Alberta has some good pike too, but nothing like this. This is just unbelievable, the quality of the fish that come out of here. But I mean, other places have fish that are a bit longer. You know, we've never cracked a 50 out here, a 50 incher, but we're working on it. But I've caught bigger pike here that have been 42, 43 inches than 50-inch pike that I've caught in the Northwest Territories. So it says something about the water you're fishing when it can produce a pike that's a lot bigger when it's 7 inches shorter than a fish you've caught somewhere else.